Hey guys, what's up? BC coming back at you guys with yet another episode of BC Talks. And today I am here with a kind of a recurring guest, Aladarsgaming.
Sorry, Aladar couldn't make it, so Starscream will take his place. Shut up.
Talks. And today I am here with a kind of a recurring guest, Aladarsgaming.
Sorry about that. We're getting backwards feedback on BC's video feed, but anyway, yeah, I'm here, and Starscream's just trying to take my place.
Sorry, I had the YouTube watch link up so I could check and make sure that I could get at the live chat.
But anyway, BC.
Yeah, once again, it's another great episode of BC Talks because we have something that is going to be rather. It's going to be a little bit of a parallel of what we talked about last time, where we basically brought up figures that we felt did not get the respect they deserved. That they deserved. Bear in mind, a lot of figures fit in that category, but then there are also other figures that bring me into this topic. Figures that did not live up to their hype.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yes, this is going to be a very fun one. Now, there are some rules, though. There are some figures that we all know are objectively terrible.
Like Arachnid.
Exactly. Figures like that, I am going to refrain from automatically throwing into this because, to be fair, one, that's mean. Two, it's easy. It's easy. It's way too easy.
And three, it's beating a dead horse.
Exactly. At this point, I'm beating a dead horse.
Even though he could literally rant for days.
Exactly. Even though I could literally sit here and rant for days. It's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. Now, keeping this in mind, let's move on to...
Let's move on to the main course.
Yeah, let's move on to the main course. The figures that we have decided, or at least that we feel personally, did not live up to their hype. If you agree with us or disagree with us, let us know in the comment section below.
We'll have a healthy debate.
Quite a bit of a healthy debate.
Anyway, would you like to give off your first figure?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I would, and some of you might actually be quite shocked with what I had to say on this.
Ooh.
My first figure is Titan's Return Voyager Galvatron.
I saw that coming.
Oh, fuck you. Anyways, Titan's Return Voyager Galvatron. While yes, I will openly admit, I spent days gushing over the toy. But even I have to admit, there was a certain line that I expected him to reach, and he did not even come close. I love the figure to death, do not get me wrong. It's fucking G1 Galvatron. But here's the problem with that. Due to his quote-unquote gimmick, it really knocks him down. And I mean quite a few. To the point where the figure is damn near ruined because of said gimmick. For those of you who do not own the Galvatron figure and have not watched any reviews on it, or just tune into this live stream because you felt you should, I'm not gonna voice it. For those of us who have watched videos or do have the figure, I think you know what issue I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But even then, that's me kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here as far as the Titan's Return line goes. He is a figure that, like, I could literally sit here and bash Optimus Prime for being or Power Master Prime for being a straight up repaint / remold of Leader Ultra Magnus. Here's the thing: Leader Magnus was a good toy, so therefore, all of the positives translated to the Prime. And then the Prime got some added bonuses. So therefore, in my eyes, Power Master Prime is the definitive version of the mold. If you're going to get the mold, get the Power Master Prime. On an entirely separate tangent. Alan?
Yes, my first figure is actually Ultimate Optimus Prime of all things.
Okay, go ahead.
I could gush for days on how much I love what this figure does for me. But there was one thing I felt was missing from the day I saw Emko's review of him. And that was, honestly, knee articulation in the combination mode. I think they could have pulled it off.
Honestly, the whole figure in of itself was wasted potential. There was so much more. There's so much more they could have done with that figure, and yet it fell flat. It did not, absolutely did not live up to the expectations it set.
I love him for what he is, but he did not completely scratch an itch I was looking for. Your next toy?
My next toy, or not, pretty much the reason why Jackie got a new body. It's the Generations Wheeljack.
Ooh.
AKA Classic Jack.
So we're not talking the Combiner Wars one?
No, we're not talking the Combiner Wars one.
Now, I happen to have this mold, so what failed with you?
One, he seems way too squat. Way too squished. The other, he feels like I truly feel he doesn't, I don't know, just some, like, Wheeljack is one of those figures where like I spent so much time gushing about him that for the longest time I ignored his many issues. And I guess one of his many issues is his transformation is borderline boring.
Kinda is, isn't it? All you gotta do is lay him down.
Yeah, basically.
He's a little fun from time to time to transform, but it does get monotonous because of how dull it gets. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Huh?
I was actually about to pass it over to you.
Oh, my next figure is actually Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime. And no, not all of my toys are Primes or movie toys. But the reason the ROTF Leader Prime failed to live up to the hype is simply because something just still rubs me the wrong way. I love them, but something just does not rub me right.
Yeah, see, that's where you and I are completely different parallels there, because hands down, that Prime is like my greatest fucking figure in my collection. If I sell my whole collection, he's the only one that's staying.
I mean, excluding QC issues with my exclusive copy, which mine has an ankle joint that doesn't want to work properly. Excluding that, he's still just something doesn't rub me right.
Anyways, bearing all of this in mind, let's move on.
Yeah.
And instead of just randomly taking turns, let's just mention the figure and then talk about the figure, like the many issues we have with them. Like, for instance, like I wouldn't be able to really comment on Revenge of the Fallen Leader Prime because, let's face it, I'm biased. I love that toy.
Yeah.
But Ultimate Optimus Prime, I wouldn't even want to debate you on that one. I would 100% agree with you there.
You would rant for days, more so than Arachnid almost.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the Thrilling 30 Bumblebee mold Goldbug, Nightbeat, Bumblebee.
That was a mold that kind of trudged a little bit, but then really started to, like, once they got the idea on how the mold should work down, it really started to shine. So I wouldn't 100% shit on that, but at the same time, I can see people's issues.
What's another one we could really bust their bearings?
And here's the thing: as much as we're talking shit about these figures, we really don't like. I personally don't really hate these toys,
but me either.
That didn't live up to their hype in my eyes. Going for a more recent figure.
Okay.
Warrior Steeljaw.
I can't comment on him.
And one of my biggest issues, like, just I have so many issues with this figure, and yet when we first saw pictures of him, I said hands down, he's the most. And I actually was really looking forward to owning that.
Now that you have
him.
And
then exactly, now that I have him, he's dumb. He's just, kind of like with him. Something really doesn't rub me the right way with him. I mean, for one, he really can't stand up unless you have
the tail.
The tail literally propping him up. His transformation for the line that he's supposed to be in is way too fucking hard. You feel like you're gonna break him constantly. And just overall, the design, it does not translate well into a toy. Especially if it's supposed to be the kiddie toys.
Yeah, save something like that for the Generations line.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I understand that there are certain things about the figure that a lot of people actually really like. I just don't. That is a figure I just don't like.
Can love his character on the show, but just don't like the figure.
I fucking love the character in the show. The figure sucks.
It's Troy Baker. Come on.
Yeah, it's Troy Baker. Hands down. He's one of my all-time.
Ooh, I got a good one. What about Masterpiece Smokescreen?
I love that mold personally because I have the Prowl.
Even you got to admit, though, he's kind of in the same boat as Generations Wheeljack. His transformation feels a little dull.
No, not really. There's way more excitement. There's way more excitement with him. Way more excitement.
Maybe I just feel it's a bit dull because I actually had the original Prowl mold. Actually, that reminds me, are G1 toys off limits with this?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know because I would have actually ripped Grimlock a new one. What's another one we could tear into? Well, you're just nonchalant chatting with someone. Do you feel like Devastator lived up to the hype?
That's actually the one I was hoping to bring up.
Combine your words, Devastator, everybody. Let the BC rant cord rip. I think we're having a fault in the cord.
Let's think here.
Yep.
Combiner Wars Devastator. 6 Voyager-sized figures coming together to form an 18-inch tall combiner. Does he live up to the hype?
No.
Size-wise, yes, he does. He more than lived up to his height in just his girth, his fucking size. Like, the size is what you bought the toy for.
Uh-huh. But if you were looking for a good quality 6-tuplet figure count,
and ultimately that's where the figure falls apart. The separate the separate Constructicons. I'm sorry, I was looking at my Bruticus. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, but the Devastator. Like I said, size-wise, for his combined mode, he lives up to the hype. But as far as every other aspect, he is deeply disappointing. Thin-ass plastic, very, very borderline, not even worth mentioning, lax in articulation. Especially one that I would love to rant about, but I'm actually going to wait until I finally review the toy, so I can rip this thing apart proper.
But trust me, he's going to harp on it like nothing else.
Yeah, given the fact that you, of all people, definitely sit around and listen to me, especially when you're one.
I'm going to warn you.
Rant about
I'm going to warn your audience now. He might actually reach up to bottomless levels of ranting on this.
Okay, that's a bit of a stretch.
I said might.
That's a bit, and even then, that's a bit of a stretch.
But hey. I know another figure we can both agree didn't live up to the hype in the Combiner Wars line.
Before you continue on,
Minotaur.
TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, in the comment section. Hi humans, I am in the chat. It's nice that you're in the chat. Now get your ass in here and actually enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, join it, you little fucker crapper.
Yeah, fucker. Anyways. We love you, buddy.
Combiner Wars Minotaur didn't live up to the hype.
Don't get me started. that is a BC rant waiting to happen. That is a separate video series. We're not going there.
He did actually do a BC rants on it on my old podcast, Full Metal Gaming, before I had to take it down.
I'm not about to go fully into the I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Can't blame you. Let's see. Titan's return figure that failed to live up to the hype would be Scourge.
Yeah, I guess I can agree there. I mean, personally, I like him, but...
Oh, I love him, but he did fail to live up to the hype. Sometimes the alt mode won't peg together right. Sometimes the head just won't stay on. He's just littered with problems.
Although you want to know which of the deluxes truly does not live up to its hype?
Who?
I literally mean truly does not live up to his hype.
Do we dare to believe it's someone we all know and love?
Highbrow.
Ouch.
And what's sad about that is all the same issues that Scourge had, Highbrow carried over.
Ouch.
Highbrow was supposed to be the version of the mold that fixed all the issues. And he's almost worse than Scourge.
Ooh.
He really feels like a disappointment, but at the same time, bear in mind, the Tire to Turn line on it right now. Like, legit fucking killing it.
There's just the occasional dud. Now, I have someone that's actually going to really shock everyone. Another figure I don't feel lived up to the hype at all. Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Starscream.
Okay, now we're just no, you're done. Moving on. I am not about to let anybody start a war in the chat section. We're moving on. Now, let's get into something that is once again a little bit more recent.
Yeah. Age of Extinction Scorn.
Oh no! That figure, in my eyes, lived up to its hype. I really love that toy. But here's what I'm saying: the RID Warrior class line. And yes, I realize these are toys that are specifically geared towards the kids. I'm an adult collector.
I really only have one RID figure.
And the one you have is honestly one of my favorites. But
yeah. Does Grimlock live up to his hype?
So far, Times of Turn so far has only had like 2 or 3 duds. Like, and I'm at that point where I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for that. The Warrior line, just with its first wave, only one of the figures really had me like, oh, dude.
Jazz?
No, I'm talking from the first wave, and it was Grimlock.
Oh.
Like, literally, this line bounces up and down with me, right? Just...
It's a roller coaster.
Exactly. It's a roller coaster.
You know, I'd like to actually change the way we do this a little bit just to bring one thing up. Are there any figures that exceeded the hype?
No, we're staying on course.
That could be a topic for the next one then.
Exactly. Bearing this in mind, moving on with another figure that I truly feel just does not live up to the hype. I know a lot of people are really going to get on me on this one.
Okay.
The Predacons from Beast Hunters.
Ooh. Ooh.
I went nuts getting those. And I ended up getting rid of them. Only 3 of them I kept, and that's because they were show accurate. Or they appeared in the show.
Dark Steel, Skylynx, and Predaking.
Exactly. Those are the only 3 of the Predacons I kept.
But Sky Stalker, Grimwing, Ripfauna, you got rid of.
Completest on this line. You of all people can testify. I went fucking completest on this line.
And he was just disappointed right away.
At first, I really liked them, but as time went on, I kept looking at them. I'm like, these aren't even worth it. They don't live up to the hype. They don't do anything that makes them different from all the rest.
Voyager Predaking is an interesting case because he was actually my first Beast Hunters figure, and he felt extremely underwhelming.
Yes, and honestly, of all the Predacons, the only one that I truly felt lived up to his hype was the Beastfire Predaking.
The Voyager one, I'm not saying this is a particularly bad thing because I love the toy, but he felt too much like Cybertron Scourge to me. And given how much I love Scourge, it felt like Predaking was trying to bargain himself some love off feeling like that, and it just kind of rubbed me off. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. The way he transforms is actually a nice flip-me-do on the classic Beast-Horse transformation, because his legs actually become most of the dragon body. That was interesting. But the two dragon heads forming a double-barrel cannon that sticks on his arms, no, that was not fun. And he couldn't even hold the sword. He was an underwhelming pile of disappointment.
And I'm going to settle this right now. I'm pretty sure there are people who are already watching this going, hey, you're going to say Victorion, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm not going to say Victorion. In fact, Victorion I will go into in another case, because I do have a lot to say about Victorion that I did not already say in her review. However, another thing that I'm really like is not, well, I guess disappointment for the toys as well, but more of a disappointment because these are what filled out the rest of the line and left so many others that deserved it more on the back burner. G2 combiner sets. Yeah, BC went there.
I honestly can't argue in some cases, because as much as I want a G2 Defensor, it would have been nice to see a Combiner Wars Predaking.
Or Combiner Wars Abominus.
Yeah. Or hell, a Combiner Wars Raiden. And you think about it, 6 trains, right? Or even better, what if they made a Combiner Wars Rail Racer?
There you go.
I'm looking at my profile picture here, and I'm noticing something very interesting. If you take a look at Starscream's chest, it looks like a wolf face.
Okay then.
Actually, that's a nice transition too. Prid's Starscream was another one that kind of didn't live up to the hype, wasn't he? What little hype he had because of the first edition. Because, I mean, you guys know how much I love that figure. He was my mascot for the longest time. But he just doesn't live up to it in all the right ways.
She really doesn't.
What's not helping is the fact that he's actually starting to fall apart on my copy. So, yeah. He can't hold the missiles on his arms properly anymore, and he's missing a hand. You had to bring that crap up. Yes, I did. Problem? Shut up.
Anyways, moving on. Another valid disappointment that I really do feel I should bring up. Combiner Wars Skylinks.
Yeah, he was disappointing.
He's disappointing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. He's very disappointing. I mean, granted, I love him myself, but even I cannot blatantly deny the fact that he is kind of underwhelming.
He should have
He
been.
doesn't really. He really doesn't look like.
He should have been a leader class.
Yeah, he really should have been. That was one that I really feel that they just dropped the fucking ball with. Now,
Because if he was a leader class, I'll bet you anything, and you can back it up, people wouldn't have whined because he doesn't separate.
yeah, but at the same time, if that leader figure fails in any way, shape, or form, the fans would rage. So
Yeah.
that's really, if you really stop to think about it, there was a no-win situation there. So it was like, fuck it, we'll do what we can.
Yeah, and what they did was okay at best.
Which, speaking of that, another figure, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the fan base is going to agree with me when I say this. Generations Voyager Blitzwing.
Oh,
The disappointment on that one.
it exists.
Like, the disappointment with that figure is so bad it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced at this point that
I actually messed with the double dealer version of that mold. That shoulder problem is a real bitch.
it really is.
It's like, couldn't they have made it a little more efficient? And then don't even get either of us started on the amount of gaps in the alt modes. Those gaps are just problematic.
What exactly about them was problematic?
It made them feel more hollow. Those gaps in his jet mode and his tank mode made him feel more hollow. Any more you can think of?
I mean,
Guys in the chat, anything you can come up with?
let me refresh real quick. See if anybody actually did post in the chat. And of course, I tweet in the chat. Anyways.
How about Fred Ratchet?
Oh no, that one does not deserve to be ripped on. Another one that I really do feel was definitely a bit of a disappointment.
Boo.
The Sergeant Cup.
That was a pretty bad one, wasn't he?
It's not the fact that he was bad, it was the fact that he was not the character he was supposed to be.
The fact that it was Cup was the letdown.
Yeah, the fact that it was Cup was what was the big letdown. You can tell by the way that figure was designed to be Ironhide.
Every time I see that figure, my circuits sizzle. Sorry, I had to.
Bearing all of this in mind,
Anything else we can touch on, or do you think we pretty much beat the horses to death?
no, I'm pretty sure there are a few horses we can still beat.
ROTF leader Megatron.
Can't really say much because I don't own that mold myself.
I've seen reviews of him, and good God, does one thing just stand out as horrific. They may have done more with his cannon arm.
So what?
Yeah, we're scratching the bottom of the barrel. I think there's pretty much nothing else left.
Then I guess I could go more into detail about a couple of figures that, while I really liked them, I felt underwhelmed in the end.
Man.
Honestly, mainly just the Beast Hunters remolds.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I went there. The Beast Hunters remolds.
Oh, God, the Bumblebee. The Bumble bitch. Dude, he was horrible. And not all of the Beast Hunters, I almost said Beast Wars, not all of the Beast Hunters remolds are terrible. The Magnus made out of the regular Optimus was okay.
Yes, that one I will not shit on. That one was actually a fantastic reuse of the mold.
RC, on the other hand, why? Why give her bat wings?
I don't know, dude. Anyways, let us know in the comment section what you guys feel was truly just an atrocity in the Titans Return lineup so far. Or not the Titans Return lineup, just atrocities in the collection. Just figures that you truly felt was a massive disappointment. But do bear in mind, comments I do not condone are comments that bully or shame anyone's personal opinion. Those comments will not be tolerated. Those comments will be deleted, and therefore repercussions will be done. I will not put up with the negativity, and I will take action if I see it.
This is supposed to be a healthy debate. This is supposed to be a healthy debate, not a give me your face in hell debate.
Exactly. If you guys disagree with us with any of these figures, and I literally mean any of them, do not hesitate. Let us know in the comment section.
And we'll actually take the time to hear you out.
Exactly. We promise we'll take the time to hear you out. Which now I'm talking about it, I completely forgot. There's the Dark of the Moon line.
Oh God, Roadbuster, the deluxe.
Oh God, half the fucking line.
Leader Ironhide was okay.
Figures were great. I will definitely admit that. Even for fucking B, the leader figures were amazing.
He even likes Leader Sentinel.
That one bugs me with how much I like it. Which, speaking of that, for the longest time, the shoulder on my Sentinel Prime cracked, and for the longest time he just sat on my shelf, and I really didn't do anything with him. Back together, and just kind of left him there. Apparently, if you leave the figure sitting there long enough, just form back together, and now I can transform the figure like no problem now. So yeah, you live up and do it every day, kids.
Was Dark of the Moon Ratchet that much of a letdown?
Yes. Was Dark of the Moon Megatron a letdown? Halfway.
Halfway point. He could have been a leader.
He could have been bigger, but I enjoy him for what he is.
Now, the Voyager Sentinel
Is
the Voyager
a disappointment. Not in the slightest.
Yeah, I wouldn't qualify him.
I do not qualify him. Like, personally, I do not qualify Shockwave as a disappointment. It's entirely because of the fact that his figure, in his robot mode, he looks badass.
His tank mode looks
Like, you can say whatever you want about the tank mode, where he shines as the robot mode. And
kind of like the Fallen.
If you shut up and let me talk. Anyways, the thing with Shockwave was the factor of, with the way his design usually works, we're not really used to seeing him as looking like a quote-unquote badass. And this figure, despite the fact that he didn't last very long in the movie, this figure alone, he just looks badass. And to top it all off, there are many figures from the Dark of the Moon line that, while I felt disappointed, I enjoyed them for what they are. Except one.
Human Alliance Leadfoot.
Okay, two. Don't even get me started on Leadfoot. I already have a review of him up on my channel. Be warned, it's 3 minutes long.
He didn't even bother going that much into detail. He hated him so much. Who was the other one you were going to mention?
Deluxe Barricade.
That's interesting.
Figure is a hunk of fucking.
That's interesting because outside of the Human Alliance one, since I don't have him, out of my two barricades, I think he pulls off the movie design the best. Bearing in mind the only other one I have is the movie 1 Deluxe.
All you have is the movie 1 Deluxe.
And the Dark of the Moon.
If you're going to get a version of movie Barricade, get the Human Alliance one. Why do you think I don't have a version of Barricade on my shelves?
Because you want the Human Alliance one.
Exactly.
I would have gotten him if I could have found him. In fact, you know what? Can we just take a second and pull the ripcord on crappy stocking in areas?
No. That is for another future topic if I ever get around to it.
I didn't mean in this episode, but okay.
I swear, I was about to say, I was about to literally comment on the fact that you were about to go, I hate you. God damn it. So anyways, now normally I usually just leave this off saying, tune into the next episode to find out what the next topic is. But this time, I'm actually going to tell you guys what the next topic is.
Ooh.
We are going to be talking about. Basically, we're going to do BC Talks Combiner Wars Overview Part 3.
Ooh.
Whomever will be joining me on this one will be joining me on that one. But yes, the next BC Talks will be Part 3. So with this said, guys, I think we've taken up enough of your time, which we really want to not nearly as long as we usually are.
We're usually longer.
Yeah, we are usually way longer. And honestly, if we had more people in here, we'd be going for way longer. Especially since
we wouldn't be scraping the barrel as much.
Yeah, we wouldn't be scraping the barrel as much if we could actually bounce ideas off of each other a little bit more. But hey, you know what? That's the nature of the beast with this. So, anyways, we're in the comment section down below. Do you guys think we should return to older topics to rediscuss?
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, nobody cares about you. Oh!
No one cares about you either.
Whatever helps me sleep at night. Helps me sleep at night. So, anyways, guys,
anyway,
with all this said, this is BC Same Standard and get your geek on. Alan?
Always remember that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest changes of all. We will see you guys next time.
We'll see you guys next time.